What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some of the data points, what really moved it, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi did go up 2.24%, very strong close, pretty much going from the intraday low of 28.49 to the high of 29.86. During the after hours, it did go up to roughly around 29.97. Throughout the trading day, it was very odd, and so you did see SoFi somewhat lag, and for whatever reason, you did have a lot of institutions selling it. I didn't really see anything coming out to really justify that. You did see a lot of other fintechs really moving higher, just SoFi did lag. But again, that was rather short-lived. Broader market was very optimistic today because of Amazon and also Apple's earnings. So that's one thing that really did fuel a lot of institutions to kind of get back into the market. SoFi, there was no news today or any SEC filings, but shout out to you did have the insider kind of bringing this up. So you had Corbett Burns, who is the managing director at Southwest. He did post this on LinkedIn, and clearly that seems to have really rallied SoFi. So what he did say was this: big news, the first few days since launching the Southwest Airlines debit card has been nothing short of incredible. For most product launches, our forecast models are spot on. Not this time. New account volumes have exceeded projections by a wide margin. And this is something that SoFi did put out for news on the 28th. So in general, that's most likely what really did prompt a lot of institutions to kind of buy SoFi up. And not only that though, I think SoFi was just being suppressed. So coming from an intraday kind of value standpoint, I think it was due for a nice push higher. Shorts, they did increase 198,000 shares, 8.43% of the free floats being shorted, works out to be 99.8 million shares overall being shorted. So as I mentioned in my pre-market video as well, we are officially below 100 million shares being shorted. So definitely good to see. DTC though, sitting at 1.46 days, does still signal that shorts are overextended. Today's options, you did see 63 million in calls, 12 million in puts, but 47% of all the options being done were bearish in nature. It'd be interesting to kind of see the difference between kind of when that whole LinkedIn post was done versus afterwards and before, because I don't believe 47% is fully accurate. With today being Friday, this is the open interest. So with it closing exactly at 29.68, that does mean that the 29.50 and below strike prices are in the money. And so you don't really see anything too crazy. 7,000 at the 29, 4,000 at the 28.50, 5,000 at the 29.50. So nothing too crazy that you'll see a nice bump up going into next week. These are some of the transactions occurring on the Darkpool above $100,000. So most recent one was about 15 minutes ago, and that was 84.3 million, 2.2, 2 million, 1.7. So big money was definitely getting in, both on the secondary market and also the Darkpool. So secondary market, large one on that one was 94.1, 16.4, 15.5, and so forth and so forth. So definitely good to see. Aside from that though, with it closing at 29.68, it is currently trading between this R2 and this R1. So 29.33 is going to be a key support. Just kind of watch for that in the foreseeable future. Stay tuned for my video over the weekend where I go over some expectations, where I see things going, and all the other fun jazz. But on the actual chart, even though we did momentarily break below that 10-day moving average, it was able to fight back and stay there. So definitely good to see. And even aside from that, the 50-day moving average has been extremely strong for SoFi. Comparing yesterday and today, you see a lot more willing buyers. So kind of weird. This is why, again, it's good and very important to look at a lot of the data points behind the scenes and whatever. But from the flow standpoint, you also do see a little bit higher for the volume. So algos were affecting SoFi, and that's something as well at the same time that hasn't really occurred. So algos have been largely leaving SoFi alone, unless the market's like completely selling off. But I do feel SoFi was largely getting suppressed throughout the day through algorithmic trading as well, which is, again, very odd because technically that would have had to have been manually done because the market was very hyped up and optimistic. Every stock had algos really pushing it higher. SoFi had the opposite. So I feel like that would have had to have been manually done. But today we didn't get any new analyst ratings, so we might get a couple over the weekend just posting it. But I think all in all, it was a pretty good day. Another good opportunity to buy the dip if you really do believe in SoFi. I think the market's giving you gifts over the last couple of trading days. So if you believe in it, take advantage, buy the dip and everything else. As I've stated many times in the past, if you do believe in SoFi, really take the time to research options because they can be very profitable. So for instance, if you feel like $35 is coming up next, which I do believe that Elliott Wave Technicals is actually projecting for that to happen, let's say if you feel that's by January, you can make a solid 59 or 60% return on risk versus a 17% with the common stock. So you can make a lot of big money through that way. But even aside from that though, looking quickly over here for a second, so you didn't really see that much in articles on a side note. So I feel like this past earnings, SoFi earnings, like we didn't get anything. I think it's just very weird timing because we also did have Powell, a lot of big companies, but maybe over the weekend, a lot of people who create articles will have kind of time to really look at SoFi and start maybe kind of reviewing that a little bit more, because I feel like we got absolutely nothing. But honestly, didn't really matter. SoFi had kick-ass earnings. Let me know your thoughts on SoFi. Hopefully everyone has an amazing Halloween as well as upcoming weekend. One final thing, if you are looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, pop over to my Patreon. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.